That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. I know I've been gone for a while, but it's just been crazy here at college. I've had tests and papers like you wouldn't believe. Finally, I got a little time off so where I can sit down and just do one of these. And what I want to do today, I want to review the November 1st edition of TNA Impact. And I gotta be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I thought that this Impact was one of TNA's greatest impacts since they got a 2-hour deal. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of TNA over WWE. I'm saying that because I really believe that this was one of their better ones because not only did TNA Impact this week have a great main event, but they built up for the Genesis pay-per-view so well on most parts. Not on all parts, but most parts. I mean, let's go over it here. You had Kaz and James Storms in one of the matches for the Fight for the Rights, and then you had Christian Cage and Chris Harris in a match for the Fight for the Right. And the next week it's going to be Christian Cage taking on Kaz. Now there's going to be something going on between Kaz and Christian at the pay-per-view. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I mean for those of you who haven't read the spoilers, but I promise you guys, you will like it. And then what else did you have? You had Chrissy Hemme and Awesome Kong. Once again, they're building up Awesome Kong, as one of the female contenders who's targeted Gail Kim and wants a shot at her TNA title. And now, this is one of the aspects where I don't think TNA helped build up the match at Genesis really well because you have Awesome Kong coming out, demolishing the women's division, and then what's the match for Genesis? Gail Kim versus Roxy Laveau versus Angel Williams versus ODB. What? When did that come into the picture? What happened to Awesome Kong targeting Gail Kim? In my opinion, it should be Awesome Kong taking on Gail Kim at Genesis. But you know what? I guarantee you, though, the match is going to deliver because you got great talents in there, even though they didn't do as good of a job building up for that kind of a match, which I think TNA needs to work on more, especially with their booking. It's piss poor right now. But ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho even said that right now, even though TNA may not have the greatest booking, what they're doing is they're working on the kinks and they're trying to figure out what works. They're trying to figure out what gets over with the crowd and what doesn't. And then when they finally find the right thing that works, they are going to skyrocket, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be so amazing once they work out the kinks in the system. But getting back to what they did right in build-up for Genesis, let's talk about the Samoa Joe, Gail Kim taking on Miss Brooks and Robert Roode match. The aftermath of that match was awesome because when was the last time you saw Samoa Joe bleed like that? And much less at the hands of somebody other than Kurt Angle. Robert Roode busted him open good, and that's really going to set things up for Genesis because now Samoa Joe wants to get his hands on Robert Roode and he wants to just tear him apart. And plus, he's one of the guys who's getting sick of watching Robert Roode push around Miss Brooks like that and treating her like crap. So it's really building up between these two. And it's going to get Robert Roode over as a main eventer, which is what TNA needs to do right now because if they don't, then what are they? They're WCW all over again. And that's what killed WCW. They didn't push enough young guys. And when it came time where all the main guys retired and were getting out of the business, they didn't have anybody, so nobody cared. And that's what TNA is doing. They're getting some of the younger guys that are yet to go into the main event status, and they're pushing them and they're getting them in matches with main eventers. And I think that's a great move by TNA to get Robert Roode going. And then the match of the night. Tomko and Styles taking on the Latin American Exchange. That match was one of the best tag team matches I have seen in a long, long time. When there's no stipulation or gimmick involved. It's just straight 2-on-2 tag team. You'll never get a good tag team match like that over in the WWE with Cade and Murdoch or Deuce and Domino. Honestly, you never will. I mean, you might get it if the Hardys take on the world's greatest tag team or something like that, but knowing the WWE, they're just going to water down the style and you'll never have as good of a match as what they would have had a few years ago, back in the Attitude Era, when it was Edge and Christian taking on the Hardys, taking on the Dudleys. And speaking of the Dudleys, this feud between the Motor City Machine Guns and the Dudleys They are pushing it so well. And I hear a lot of people complaining, ugh, TNA is so stupid for not letting the X Division have kick-ass matches, just bringing in Team 3D. Let me ask you guys something. When Team 3D comes in and interrupts these X Division matches after they're having kick-ass matches, does it piss you off? Yes. Does it make you want to see the X Division kick the crap out of the Dudleys? Yes. So is it serving its purpose? Think about it. Think about it. Is it serving its purpose? Yes, it is serving its purpose. Because the Dudleys want to kick out the X Division, and the fans love the X Division. The X Division is what helped TNA get to where it is today. And for the Dudleys to keep attacking it and deny the fans of kick-ass matches, it makes the fans hate the Dudleys, so it puts them over his heels, and they want to see the X Division, in this case the Motor City Machine Guns, take it to Team 3D and put them in their place and prove to them that the X Division is a division worth watching, especially in TNA. So for all of you people who say that TNA sucks for letting Team 3D be on the X Division, sorry guys, you were just proven wrong. And what else happened? You know, I know we all haven't been a fan of Dustin Rhodes' current work in TNA as Black Reigns, Black Dust, whatever you want to call him, but I mean, this was actually one of the few times that I actually enjoyed watching Black Reigns because, granted, the guy is so out of shape in the ring and he can no longer deliver a good match, but in my opinion, I thought Black Reigns delivered a pretty good promo on Thursday Night Impact this week. So, I mean, and it helps build up the feud between Abyss and Black Reigns, which the match is going to be a gimmick match, a House of Horrors match at Genesis. I don't know. I'm not particularly a big fan of the types of gimmick matches that TNA tries to come up with as of late. Like, I thought the Fight for the Right tournament at Bound for Glory was just awful. I really didn't care for it that much. But other than the fact that it set up this tournament, they could have done a much better job. Literally, the creative management in TNA, they have got to start thinking of some better stuff when it comes to gimmick matches. But that's a whole different story. But Black Reigns actually cut a pretty good promo, and I don't know what the deal is with his key, but I'm not going to judge it yet because it's just starting, and I don't know what it's about. Nobody knows what it's about, so before you guys start judging, wait and see where they're going with it, because that's what I'm going to do. And after I see where they're going with it, then I'll make my call. And for those of you out there who don't think I'm going to point out the faults in TNA, well, get ready to get proven wrong again. The James Storms, Eric Young beer drinking storyline sucks. I've seen where they're going with it, and all it is Eric Young coming out and chugging with James Storms, and I personally do not like it one bit. And also, another thing I think TNA is doing wrong, I think they're giving too much TV time to Kurt Angle and Kevin Nash. Now, granted, this is going to be the main event for Genesis, but even the WWE doesn't give John Cena this much television time when the 2 hours. They really could be using this television time to put over some of the younger superstars, and they could be using the television time to work on some other storylines as well. But that's my personal opinion on the TNA Impact. So this TNA Impact had great build-up and great matches. So how did it suck? You guys are just biased WWE marks, WWE sheep that just listen to whatever Vince McMahon tells you to listen to. I mean, how is it that you can say that this is garbage when it fulfills most of its requirements to make a pay-per-view phenomenal? I just don't know what else to say to you guys to get the message through your heads. All I can say is you guys have got to swallow your pride, pull your heads out of your butts, and give TNA a chance. Because when you do give TNA a chance, you will see what a great promotion it truly is. And I am not just saying that. I am not saying that to put over TNA. I am saying that with all the sincerity that I can possibly give you.